Would you all rise? Join me in a pledge of allegiance to our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You seated? Roll call of officers.
Mr. Haskins.
Here.
Mr. Whitford.
Here.
Mr. Jordan.
Here.
Mr. Pakowski.
Here.
Ms. Coy.
Here.
Mr. Baumgartner.
Here.
And Mr. Dawson.
Here.
Thank you.
Have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Move to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. In the old business, we have nominations for the Grand Marshal, choice of Grand Marshal for the 4th of July Parade through the Veterans Advisory Board's decision, input in the relationship between American Legion and the city.
Commander, I brought that up again just to hear any of the last meeting. I put together what the city saw their obligation is to the Veterans Advisory Board, and if there's any input from the board back to the city. That's the only reason that's on that agenda.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So the first one is for nominations. Do we have any nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate Mr. Robert Stewart, gentleman sitting back there, is World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veteran. All 3 wars. He's a member of the VFW in good standing, and I don't think there's a person that's more deserving than right as a Grand Marshal as a man that has went through 3 of our wars.
Agreed. Did the council or did your office approve that our request, at our last meeting, we requested to have the authority to do this?
Yes, what we had taken to council before, and before Joe had left, and even with city council and the mayor, it was that the advisory board would be making the decision who the grand marshals are. Okay.
Yay.
Right. And I also
Grand Marshal.
Right, and I also understood that the city council might have another person that they would like to also ride as a dual Grand Marshal.
I think that may be with the American Legion dealing with Harry. I believe that
Yes,
most people know.
we do have one we'd like to recommend as a dual. Harry Ashton, a veteran of the African campaign in the Mediterranean and Italy during World War II.
Well, and then there's another fellow. Why don't we have all our World War II veterans who are members ride? Because let's face it, we don't have very many. With all respect to Mr. Stewart, everyone from World War II is worthy.
Ms. Coy, you want that. I think it's a good idea, but that's what you can decide on.
Yeah.
But all I need to do for you is get you the golf carts and make sure they got what they need.
Right, well, and this is our last meeting before.
Right.
Right,
So-
right. Well, that's why we're here to discuss that. So,
Yeah.
because we have another, at the VFW, we have another one, another World War II veteran. And I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. I know his daughter.
Well, we have a veteran from Pearl Harbor, which has been at one of our past affairs, and I'm not sure of his condition right now, but I can check on that.
I think two would be, one from the VFW, one from the American Legion would be sufficient.
I would hate to leave one out and have someone pass away.
That I would
I
too,
would
but-
really hate that to happen.
But do we have the capability?
We'd get a couple convertibles.
I will help with that. You decide what you want, I'll
Yeah.
make sure it happens.
No, we're not, no golf carts. We'll get them convertibles and stuff with what we'll need, the magnetic signs for the cars.
Okay.
But, okay, well, we need to turn around and decide on that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have no objections. Russ, do you have any objections? I don't have any objections to that.
I know of at least
4 or
one
5.
more World War II vet, and I think Mr. Stewart, when you come to the meeting, I think he sits next to you. His daughter brings him to the meeting.
Bill,
You know who I'm talking about. And I just would, and if there are any other members of the Legion too, World War II veterans are growing very, very, very scarce.
Yeah, they're growing very thin. Jerry? Would you rise when you speak, sir? Would you rise when you speak?
Come on up so,
Up
yeah,
to
so
the
they can get it
microphone,
on the record.
please. Thank you, so we can have you on the record.
This one here is good? Okay. I'm with the Honor Guard. Carl Rance is a World War II veteran, R-A-N-T-Z, Carl. And I could call his wife and ask him how he's doing. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but, because he's no longer able to serve with us on the Honor Guard. But he is a World War II veteran. I can dig a little bit, see if I can find out if anybody else is.
Right.
But Harry Ashdown and Carl are the two that I know of for sure.
I'll even volunteer if you guys approve all World War II vets ride this year, and I would suggest we do it until we run out of World War II vets.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
If you all approve that, I'll even volunteer to be the point of contact. You can call me, and I need a reasonable amount of time, but I'll get the convertibles and tell them how many.
Put that in a motion. Put that in a motion.
I think we already have a motion on the floor, don't we?
Well, that was just for Bob.
Well, it's a committee study. I don't necessarily think you need a motion on it.
Yes,
I agree with you. I have no problem with it, but it's
I
a
have no-
committee matter of just
yeah.
putting it together so that the city knows.
We have a motion on the floor. We have to clear the motion. We got to use the protocol here. So,
What motion?
who made the motion? Who, do you know who? John, rescind your motion, just. You didn't get a second?
Not yet,
Okay.
no.
So there's no motion.
No motion on the floor. Move to approve all World War II veterans be given the status Grand Marshal
I'll go along with that.
that are members of the Legion and the VFW.
I have no problem with it.
Fine. I
Is
agree.
there a second?
Do I have a second? We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Now, Andrea,
Yes.
you're gonna get a lot of convertibles.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I will do what's required. That, we only have 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, and the other guy.
Possibly one naval. I'll look
Okay.
into that. And
I
the
think-
only thing I suggest,
I
they
just
be
think-
members of the American Legion or the local VFW, or posts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sebastian, Legion, and VFW. I mean, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I mean, look, a vet's a vet, is a vet.
Yes, got points.
Ms. Coy, would you just communicate to me so I can get the magnetic signs made of who they are, and if there's any bio that we
I
want
need
written up?
4 so far,
Okay,
1 for each side of the car.
okay,
And I know I'm going to need at least 2 cars.
okay. I just want the names, and, if you don't want the names
Oh.
on, put the names on them, or no, maybe you do, or what?
No, just, we wouldn't need names, just the Grand Marshal is all we would
You just
need.
want to have it World War II vets, or on the magnetic signs?
Or
It'd be nice to have the
Yeah,
names, but,
World War II veterans of,
I would like to put their names on the car, too.
If you can get me their
I'll get
names,
you the names.
I'll do what I can. I'll get,
Maybe we can have long, skinny, we'll work that.
we'll see what we can do. Yeah,
or maybe
we'll-
we can put, even 2 names on one, 4 signs, 2 on each side of the vehicles, or whatever it is, and have more
If
than
there's
one
2
name on it.
If there's 2 cars,
Right,
there's gonna be 4 signs.
Right.
2 here, 2 there.
right,
They'll fit.
absolutely. Okay,
Yeah, on the front door, World War II vets on the back door, their names, where they'll be sitting in the
Okay.
back.
if you would just work with me on that and give me as much
got it.
notice as I can get, I appreciate it. I'll get
And can I have the names by June, what day are we on? 4th?
4th.
5th? No, 4th.
Today's the 4th.
Today's the 4th.
4th, today's the 4th.
By June 15th, I need
Yeah, I
the
think that's
spelling,
reasonable.
correct spelling of the names. And my phone number is 388-0961, and I will get convertibles for them to ride in somehow. The Ladies Auxiliary of the Legion, they all have
We got-
red vets.
There's a couple nice convertibles.
We'll find one.
Yeah.
While we're on that subject, we have approval from West Palm Beach Veterans Administration to have a bus at the available carrying the veterans during the July 4th parade. That's been cleared.
Okay, it goes where it goes. It goes,
It'll fall behind. I think the outline is made. It'll be behind the American VFW, American Legion, and then I think it's
It'd be
behind them.
behind
Yes.
our units. Right.
It has a regular. If you've seen the bus, you know it has veterans on it and everything.
you gotta be recognized by this guy here. Mr.
Jerry,
Commander. I wanted to mention that Carmen Del Verde, who's a member of the Honor Guard, has a 65 Galaxy convertible. I'll ask him how it's running.
there we go.
When he gets back, he's away right now, but the minute he gets in town, I'll be calling him.
Will you, and call me,
I
call
can
me.
call you, yes.
go, yeah. Let me know.
If you have a card, I'd take your card and,
I don't have cards anymore.
oh, okay.
Get on me, Jerry. I have
I
her
like
number.
it like
I'll
that.
get your number.
I have her number, Jerry.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Input on the relationship between VFW and American Legion and the city.
Can I just, before we go into that, Commander, now, this is the American Legion's turn to run this parade, correct?
That's
sorry?
what is on the minutes that I reviewed. Mhm.
Right, 4th of July parade is gonna be run, or any way you wanna put it, by the American Legion, correct?
No,
No, the 4th of July parade, I mean, the city's responsible, this year and this year only, we're responsible for the first part of the parade in the order, and that's why we have it there. After
Right.
that, the Alliance is still assisting us with the back end of the parade.
Okay,
I had some information that the way you explained it was correct, that the American Legion, or the VFW, each year as it takes as pros, would handle the first part of the parade, and the city would handle
no, that is
part.
never how it was set up.
No.
Never.
I'm surprised. I
And the VFW nor the Legion, neither group has ever
Well, I
run
mean,
the
I'm
parade.
sorry.
They've
Yeah, I
only
stand
fought
cor-
about.
I do stand correct. I meant the Veterans Council. I'm sorry. I do. You're right.
Yes, and if I may interrupt and make clarification, it is going to be, the parade organization is going to be mainly handled by staff. And staff did make the determination that, yes, the Veterans Advisory Board could help us with the first order of the parade, with the organization aspect of the first order of the parade. We are going to also be in charge of the organization of the second order of the parade. This year only, however, the Lions Club will continue to take the forms by the general participants, which are considered the second order of the parade. They'll also make sure that these forms include hold harmless agreements. But during the parade itself, it's going to be the city, Veterans Advisory Board helping us with the first order of the parade, and some other volunteers that will also help us with the second order of the parade organization.
Correct.
And we're to collect, do you want us, did I volunteer to get the first order of parade hold harmless agreements at one point in
You
time?
did.
Yes, you
I think I
did.
did.
Yeah.
Did.
Okay, I will do that. I'll get you forms for, and Commander, if you don't mind, you can sign for your Legion, you can sign for everybody. You could, if you don't mind, like he did last year.
I don't mind anything, but to me, John is basically someone that's knowledgeable of how this works.
I'm sorry, but he's not the only one.
No, well, I'm just saying, for us, for the American Legion. So basically,
He's not, he can't sign. I mean, you're the
No,
commander.
I'll sign,
Okay.
but I want John's input, if that's the way you want to put
That's
it.
up to you. That's up to, you're the boss down there.
We just have to make sure we have all of them signed.
And we had agreed to the format. What I'm feeling here is a pushback on, somebody wants to change who goes what Where?
No.
We had agreed, okay. No, we're all in
The format is
agreement
set.
that
No,
the
the
format.
format is
It's still
set.
in the packet too. I included it again in this packet.
Nobody's
This is
pushing.
what was
Okay.
approved by the advisory board, and that's what's still in your packet today.
Then this is very simple. The arguments and the grief has been because there was no order of parade. And everybody played quienes macho and wanted to be first, and whoever could muscle their way in. We now have established the order of parade by board, and we all agree. The city of Sebastian is in charge. They let us line ourselves up.
And I will be there. There will be a police officer there. We will abide by the order. There was one thing I wanted to bring up to the board, and it's only one thing. As far as where we have the support from the Indian River County, the first responders, the fire department, and the ambulance, the fire chief said he doesn't care where you put the fire truck. He don't care if it's last, middle. He doesn't care. The ambulance, they're asking to go, and I was going to ask the advice of the board to possibly have that go even before the parade, to be able to be, in case there's an emergency where they have to leave. they're not
Yes,
stuck.
they could go ahead as, like that group there that hands the flags and that out, they go like 500 feet in front of us.
That's what I was asking.
So you're
That's
not
what I was
interfering
asking,
with the parade
I
itself.
would hate to have someone need the ambulance and not be able to get out
Well,
of the
for
parade.
sure, we totally agree with that,
Well,
ambulance has to be accessible.
Why does the ambulance have to go at all?
I think they like
Because what
to.
happens if, there's the ambulance in the middle of the parade and somebody way in the back gets hit? Why
Well,
can't
if
the
they're in the
ambulance?
front, they can come
The
around.
ambulance's main
they can
goal is
come
to get
around.
to Riverview Park,
So
so
we're making them,
run in front.
why do
I
they
was
have to
asking them to
go,
run.
why do they have to run at all? Why can't they
I
be?
really don't have the answer to that question. I mean, that was one, we worked with the Lions Club, and what they said, what would normally happen, they would be in the front, but again.
They've never been in the front.
Okay, I'm just going by what was told.
They have never run down the front of the parade. I don't know why they're making that up.
I don't want to see them get congested where they cannot get out to go respond to somebody.
Could they just not be stationed at the river park? Not just,
I can certainly
so if
put
they get a
them-
call,
Yeah,
they're going.
exactly.
Let them stay.
Okay,
I don't care at the clock, wherever.
I will.
They
I
have
can
never
change it.
run in
I-
front, and that makes them more important than the Realtor guys. That's a perfect idea.
Yeah, have 'em-
I will contact the county then, because I've been working with them. We've already submitted the forms for the D-Day celebration and for the 4th of July parade. So I will work with them, and all they have to do, I think, really, is to change the address of where it'll be.
Right,
Yeah, if they needed
by
to
the way
come.
by the way it's looking, it's going to be hot.
I know,
So I mean,
I know.
they'll probably be busy.
Yes, I know. Well, we've taken the precautions we can. I know former Commander Wayne Newland has also contacted Walmart again for the water. We'll be there. The city will have like 25 chairs for D-Day. I know, but it is going to be hot. The weather looks good, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be in the 90s.
Yeah.
This is Florida.
This is Florida.
You're having it at 3 o'clock?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
It's 11 a.m.
That's today's. Okay, that
Okay.
scared me. Okay.
Was there anything else?
Was there
on that,
anything
or-
else we wanted to add, like for what the Veterans Advisory Board expects from the city, or should what I put out the last meeting, is that acceptable, or was there anything that we wanted to add? That's also in the packet. I don't know, or you want to think about it and get back to us the next meeting, that's good. It's not, I just wanted to be an open communication with what we can do and best help each other out.
Right.
I-
I think it's pretty much set out there, but we'll go over it again just to make sure, and kind of within the next couple of days, and get with you and make sure that we're all on the same page.
Thank you.
That fair enough with everybody?
Yeah, I guess my concern in wanting to have that item on here, and it's been on the agenda for like 3 times now, but was just to emphasize the fact that, yes, we're veterans, and yes, we support each other and want to support our veterans, but the city also supports us a lot. And I think that gets lost a lot in how much the city does do for us. And again, I will say this, I can't tell you how upsetting it is to me when I hear veterans wearing a uniform or being identified as one member of either the VFW or the Legion, complaining, moaning, groaning, and talking badly about, well, why doesn't the city do this, that, or the other thing? I know of no other city that does more for veterans.
And I think, Ms. Coy, one of the things we do face regularly too is misinformation that goes on, because sometimes something gets out that's not factual, and then it just gets expanded, and as the story goes on with more and more people, miscommunication occurs. And wherever we can, I'll try and, set the record straight and deal with facts, but that's part of the battle. I agree with you, that's part of what we deal with, and everybody deals with,
And the other thing is, neither place, neither the VFW nor the Legion is more important than the other. We are all equal.
We're all veterans.
And when we want to try to get something done, it behooves us to really work hard and work together. And I can tell you just from my past experience, I've lived here for 20 years now, more than that. And we haven't done as good a job as we possibly could on that effort. And that's our problem. And we need to continuously work on doing better with that, on how to work together with the city to accomplish what we need to do. So that's my goal.
Andrea.
I'd like to say that every time. You'll probably hear me say it every time.
Andrea, there's always going to be a few complainers. No matter what service, what we do, someone's always going to be unhappy.
You're never gonna make everybody happy.
And, we could let it go, or we could let it eat at us.
All right.
I'd rather let it go and do what we have to do.
You didn't hear me mention
Russ and I
anybody's
plan on
name,
working
so I
together
mean,
this
I've obviously
weekend.
let it go. But we need to reinforce to our organizations, and I know Commander Haskins does, and when I'm at the meetings, I reinforce that too. The city does a lot for us. And if we keep, that will lessen the complainers, because it's just not right to slam. It's not right that we slam each other either. No. And don't tell me that doesn't go on. But we're not here to talk about that.
No, let's move on, Andrea.
You got it.
Let's move on. Public input, you have something for us, sir? You have something for us? Yes. Would you come up to the microphone and state your name?
My name is Gary Speaker, retired First Sergeant, United States Marines.
Number 5.
Thank you so much. Post Adjutant at the Legion, service officer. I take care of the homeless. We have approximately 120 homeless in the area. We've recently had a stand down. The stand down was not a very good one. We traveled 126 miles from Sebastian down the coast. We were only able to grab about 35. The ones that I had, I simply said to them, please pass the word that these stand downs are for you. I pass the word, I go into the woods, I feed them, and I clothe them. I think they should be recognized as well. That someone in the area is taking care of these folks. When I went down to the Vero Beach Council and I brought up the Sebastian folks, I sort of got the feeling that they didn't want to really take care of them.
No.
But after being persistent on this, after being persistent on that, they sort of changed their mind. So it's a good program. It was available to them. It was held in Fort Pierce. And I think everyone should know that there's someone in the area taking care of our vets. They're all not veterans out there. Some are just plain homeless. Sometimes you won't find anyone, sometimes you will. And that's my report to you.
All right, last month, our VFW, Post 10-210, we had a stand down also. Yeah. So we do have people out there trying to help. And we thank you for what you're doing. It's hard nut to crack. we do everything we can possibly do, and I wish we could do more. I really do. I wish we could do more. But as you say, and a lot of them are just homeless.
Right. And the other choice that they have is they have a choice of not staying in the woods. I'm in contact with the Melbourne Veterans Transitional Facility. I'll be taking 3 guys up there tomorrow. And the procedure is they have to have the will to get off the street.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm taking them up tomorrow. I'm going to walk them through this. They'll go up to Vieira VA Medical Center, and they in turn will send a message to the Melbourne Transitional Facility to get these guys off the street. The process of this is they have 6 months to stay in Melbourne. They cannot sit around. They have to go up and try to find a job. If you can't find something in 6 months, they extend you to 9. But you can't sit around, can't drink.
Do they have to be sober? Yes,
You
they have to be sober.
responsible.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew?
Would you be willing to work with the police department on this? Because I know they run into the homeless vets. If I got with the police department and gave them your name and phone number, would you be willing to do that? Because they run into them every once in a while. Do you want to play that role?
I could be an advocate. Sure.
Because it's tough, and it's hard to find. It's very hard to find the people who want the help and are willing to go through the steps. But you know what they are, and you bless you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
But okay, if afterwards, give me your.
Yeah, let's not put my telephone number out on the TV.
I think the police department would enjoy having your number in case they run across some folks.
Any questions? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for what you're doing, and we'll all try to work together and see what we can do to help. New business. We have the 4th of July parade update, which we already basically went over. Or no, we have more? Okay.
Well, what we put, and Margarita was nice enough, she made the map of who's sitting where, and you can guess who I am in that, but that's fine. But there is all the little people there, and who's going to be where. There will be, the couple of the T3s, those the bikes, not the bikes, but those automated, those little vehicles they wear like they do at, in mall, or they use like in malls and stuff. There'll be a couple of them running up and down. The fire truck wanted to be in the parade. They didn't care where. We were going to place them behind the high school band. So they'd be after the veterans and behind the high school band. Caldwell Banker's going to be handing out the flags. Also, the same message that we've had on Channel 25 for quite some time and posted is the flag etiquette thing there. I did speak with, I think it was Mike or had exchanged emails from the, Sebastian Daly, and they're going to put something similar to that for the parade. If you see on one of the sheets I left you that was like this, where this is what I sent him, asking him, and hopefully the first paragraph to put before the flag etiquette, and then the rest of it is more of a footnote, like they're key. They're not all, but they're key veteran holidays. And I think, one of the things I learned through this is I didn't know between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, all 5 military branches had their birthday. That's something I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't
realize that either.
It's there, and this is what I've given them. And that's pretty much it. So they'll have it in Sebastian Daily. We have it on Channel 25. One of the things I'd ask, if we know normally Caldwell Banker hands out the flags at the parade, also can ask them to hand out the flag etiquette sheets. I can provide plenty of those. So, we'll respect the flag. But this was my best shot at giving them for the paper. There wasn't a lot of time. They wanted it quickly. I originally hoped to get more input from the board, but I didn't want to wait much longer. I wanted it published as often as possible and to be able to get it going. After this, since the Lions Club is handling the majority of the parade after the veterans. They did already, they had the plaques and everything made up for the awards. There will be judges there. Next year, when it's the city, we can talk, because I know there was some discussion I heard that was we probably didn't want judges, but they will be this year. And up to the board, how did we handle it next year? But right now,
I don't think a military unit has ever won an award ever for anything. So I don't think that would be this board's decision about judging. If the city wants to judge, the city would judge.
okay, that's fine.
I
I've heard, I don't know how factual
we have
it is.
never received an award.
No, not that I remember of.
I mean, I think this is judging the floats and so forth that go into the parade, and they've already had this decided as part of the parade.
I would let the city handle that end of it.
Yeah.
There's one thing for, and Barney kind of brought me in the loop this right now before the meeting, was about the honor guard, those that are not able to walk the distance, that there would be a veterans bus provided. So, I don't know how the board wants to handle that for the honor guard members who could not walk the full Davis Street to Riverview Park.
That's the bus that's going behind.
Yes, behind.
Yeah, right behind it, behind the military.
Behind the Legion.
Yeah,
Behind the military, or
Yeah.
behind the
behind the
band.
Legion, behind the Legion.
Yeah.
They are behind the honor guard, behind the military, how,
We'll set that up.
okay.
It's in the list, but that goes,
Yeah,
okay. And we just discussed that. We got
Right,
the
we
order
just-
of parade.
it's right there.
Yeah. Show me. Let me
Yeah, I
see.
mean, that's all we really have at the time for the parade update. If there's any questions or feedback, I mean, we're a month away, that's all, so please feel free to contact me.
VFW, Legion.
The
Then
gra-
behind the Legion will be the bus. Then the Veterans Council.
Right. It'd be the Grand Marshal, the VFW,
The Legion,
the Legion, and then the bus.
and then the bus.
They'll be right behind,
Right,
Right behind your
that's
guys.
my understanding.
and that's what we all agreed to, and so.
The bus will not only be there available for people who may not be able to carry on the walk, but they will have riders, veterans in the bus also that are
That's fine.
Right,
participating
yeah,
in the
that's
parade.
fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. And anybody who falls out in front, the bus could just pick them up as we go by. I think that'll work out very good. But that was the problem in the past, is everybody turned around trying to
Be first.
jump in front of everybody, and these little motorcycle guys with their blah, 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 and just, Ms. Coy knows that a couple of times one time I got right into it with the sheriff's department. We almost went to blows.
You almost clocked one of the deputies.
I came about that close to clocking one of the deputy. Andrew had to get me out of there. But it's respect, and we just have, and what we have talked, and how we're running this now, with the help of the city and the police department. See, the police department, they never knew, nobody ever told them where anybody went. Right. So, right.
Yeah, and we have a list this year.
Now we
This
have,
is the first time we've
this
had
is
an
where
approved
everybody
list.
goes. Nobody goes, I don't care what they do behind all of our military people.
Honor guard, it's not, I know the police and the sheriff, they all have their own honor guard, but they can do it, they're part of the parade, whatever they would like.
And that's a question too, this past year, the junior ROTC out at the high school, I asked the honor guard, I said, what are these guys doing up here? Well, we invited them. Well, okay, but is that gonna be acceptable this year?
Well, there's where they go, where the American Legion, or wherever they want to put it, but they're not, there's our list right there where we're going.
Well, that's a question about the honor guard. We now have established that the sheriff's honor guard goes with the sheriff's department, and the Sea Scouts go with the Sea Scouts.
Right, well, and,
Does the ROTC go with the
ROTC would go with
ROTC?
any other legitimate veterans organizations. That's where they would go.
Are we agreed with that? Because it's gonna come up, I can guarantee it. I don't hear anything, I hear a lot of silence.
The way it's, the way I understand, as military people, honor guard, we're first. ROTC, Sea Scouts, if they want to go behind all the military people, they could go behind. If we have to put the bus back a little further so they could stand behind us, I see no harm in it. You know, they're kids.
If you want to let them, that's totally up to you. If you want to let them go in front of the bus, that's totally up to you guys.
I think
I wouldn't set a precedent.
You have the ROTC, you have the Sons of the Legion, you have all them groups, the motorcycle riders that all wanted to turn around and get up in front.
I don't understand.
We have the order for the parade, and
We have the order,
it's going to stick. And then after that, the next wave, you know, if we fit them in after the first wave that you have all agreed on, that is fine. But I'm not. I want to stick to I want to stick to what we have.
Yeah.
I wanna
Rule
stick
number
to-
6 is right. It's right there.
Right.
Any other legitimate veterans organizations,
Yeah.
that's where they would all fall in.
Okay.
Commander, I see the Sons of the American Legion as falling behind the Legion. Or not? Do you want them behind?
Behind us, they're part of our family.
Yeah,
That's what-
behind
that's what
you.
we're- that's what we're trying to
And
clarify.
the women's auxiliary of the auxiliary of the VFW would fall behind the VFW. So there would be,
They're
Or do you
part
want
of
them
your,
behind everybody?
they're part of your group, so.
They're part of it. As your auxiliary is part of your group. That's,
The only thing I think I would, when you plan it out that way, be sure that the motorcycle people understand where they're supposed to be, because those type of equipment is difficult in handling parade.
well, they
The
go,
Legion riders and so forth.
the Legion riders would be at the end behind your group. We don't want the,
Yeah, you don't want, well, that's what I'm saying. You want-
Right, they would behind your, yes, they
yeah,
would behind your
behind you
group.
guys. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just,
And so number six though is gonna be ROTC and Sea Scouts.
they're behind the bus. Correct?
Got it. You
I mean,
got it.
this is the military. These are future military people.
right. They're
When you
future-
earn your stripes, then you can say what you want.
We're right on the same page.
Okay, we got it.
Yep.
We got it.
I'll update the list. I have put them, the bus, and then the other, the ROTC and Sea Scouts, they would go behind any other legitimate veterans groups, correct?
Actually,
Whether it be-
all you need to do is number 5, where it says Veterans Council of Indian River County, that's the bus.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the bus.
It has been in the past, it's.
And then you'd have your ROTC and Sea Scouts and all them behind that.
And what about the band? Where's the band at?
Who?
They're at the number 10 on our list, Russ?
Can they be in the back further? They're always back further. They're in the back.
Yes. Okay, we all agreement on where they're all
10-4.
going now?
Yeah, and basically, we didn't make any changes to it, we just kinda
Just
tweaked.
clarifying it,
Yeah.
we're just clarifying it. We're not really changing, we're just clarifying where
I
the,
think with the tweaking, with this, if you want, you can add more detail to it of, spell out in number 6 who those organizations are, and they fall in line as they get in. So what happens is, you have a detailed first parade order.
Yeah,
After that first parade order, and some talk on this is that in order to, I think, eliminate or quell down people trying to cut in front of everyone because they want to go first, is really define a second, third, and fourth parade order, and those organizations fall in those. and identifying personnel as a point of contact so they line up where they're supposed to. So it cuts down on those issues that you mentioned of trying to get into a heated discussion on who's first and who's
Right,
on
well,
third.
this year, the police department, and everybody's gonna know where everybody's falling in, so
Right.
clarifying all that right from the get-go is just gonna make things so
Right,
much
and
easier.
That's what I was saying, is that
Right.
if the parade order is further detailed, then it leaves really no question.
Right, we'll make up a new sheet
Where you
where,
go.
exactly where everybody
Yeah, I
goes.
just think that we just expand on this
fine.
one, that's
It's
all.
pretty much there, but we didn't mention where, because Sea Scouts are, that's gonna come up, but they're always late for the parade lately, so they'll wind up way in the back. But it will come up, but the high school ROTC, junior ROTC, or not junior, the high school ROTC program, yeah, junior ROTC.
Well, yeah,
Any
you
other
can-
legitimate veterans organization, or, they're not a legitimate veterans organization yet, but what's another name, what could we call them? And then we could
Future.
put,
They're future.
or future veterans, like Sea Scouts, and junior ROTC. And that would also include, organizations like AMVETS, they're legitimate. AMVETS would go first, the future guys would be at the very end of that
Do
group.
we have that many people gonna be in this parade?
A lot of them, I tell you what, Dave,
I can remember one year where there were more vehicles with American, the American Legion, auxiliary, had every convertible that they could find in town, and before some of the other, I mean, it gets down to that. We've kind of downsized that. I haven't seen that happen, but it has. And, it's about giving everybody credit, but it's also
It's a
about getting
parade.
along. It's, right,
Okay.
yeah.
As long as everybody follows protocol, it'll be great.
And we have this year we have a protocol. Oh my God, it's in writing.
What I'll do, I will update the list, mostly expanding on item 6 that John asked us to do, and I will send it out to everybody. If there's any mistakes, errors, or additions, just please get it back to me.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're ready that morning of the
that'll be
parade.
fine, that'll be fine.
And Randy, if you need assistance, I mean, I can help
Yeah,
with you on that
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
put
Thank
that
you,
on.
John.
Because what that also does too, if I may, for future, is that if the discussion becomes again about grand marshals, then you could put grand marshals in front of different parade orders. You could have a World War II, you can have a Korean War vet, you can have a Vietnam vet, in front of, as a start of different parade orders, and those other organizations are behind them. So you kind of create a database, pretty much, of orders that eliminates all those hassles that have happened in the past. It's all just a suggestion.
Yeah, this will be the first year there's been more than one grand marshal. And I will tell you that in the past, there has never been a military grand marshal.
Not that I remember of.
Other than I was, when I was like the mayor or vice mayor one, but as a secondary thing, because I'm retired, it wasn't because I was retired military.
Wasn't Wayne Nolan last year?
No. He just,
I just thought it was Wayne Nolan.
not gonna say that.
Okay.
No, Wayne Newland was not the grand marshal last year, and that was a problem. That's why we have this protocol issue.
That was one of the.
The lady who was the grand marshal was sitting over waiting for someone. I had to pull her to the front of the parade, and oh, by the way, that's why I got beat up so badly, because I was trying to put the grand marshal where she belonged.
Mhm. Yeah, she was way over on the side, she couldn't even get
Couldn't even
through.
get out.
But hopefully, what we're doing now, hopefully is gonna solve
We solve
these
problems.
issues.
Yes, and just to add, I guess, I will make sure that I take copies of this order once Randy makes the revisions and the board approves of these revisions. I'll be taking extra copies so that everybody's on the same page on the day of the parade. Lineup is at 6:30 a.m., so I'm not sure, I know. I'm not sure when, the board wants to show up to help with the organization of this first order. The actual parade is at 8:30. So this is the only meeting that we have before the parade. It would be good to at least, get some kind of agreement as to, okay, what time are we all going to be there? And who's going to be there? And again, the parade does begin at 8:30.
I volunteered to be down there at 7:30. I don't see any point in being there much earlier than that, because anybody who wants to line up and is out of order, we just come down there and go, up, rear, get back. We just reline them.
I think it'll be a lot better this year. I think we'll be able to manage it, with our people knowing, with our police officer, everybody knowing that they have a lineup. Also, along with that hold harmless, they can you can give them a copy of that order right then, explain to them right then, this is where you're going.
No, I'm gonna have that all done before. I'm gonna try to have it done beforehand.
Oh, okay.
But I'll have
All right.
extras on hand in case we miss somebody.
I'll have some extras with me too, and I'll be there in the morning. Okay.
And I think that'll all work out very good. It's a day of celebration, and I hope it would just keep the confusion down and don't want to make me mad on that day.
No, you don't want to make the sheriff's department mad. They were big guys. He was telling, get out of here.
He was a little bit bigger than me, but I didn't care. He wasn't going in front of my VFW.
Could someone tell the honor guard, though, about, because that was an issue too last year, if you would let the honor guard know that look, it's honor guard is honor guard. It's the veterans of the honor guard.
Mr. Lucci is in charge.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Jerry's here, so
Jerry,
he
are you okay with that? I forgot.
I hate to hog the mic, but let me come up. We are made up of the VFW and the American Legion. It's not like it's just the American Legion or just the VFW. And so we work together, and the only problem I had the one year was people wanted to go ahead of the American flag. That was my only problem.
Never.
And I said, hey, bud.
Never.
that's the problem I have with that sheriff.
He didn't like it, but so be it,
Yeah, never.
Yeah, we have Mr. Luisi with us now, and we're gonna work together very good. And
I
think
will tell
everything-
you that last year, I did object when I saw the ROTC coming up there, and I said, whoa, where are you guys going? And I was told by Mr. Westerfield that they invited them and they were supposed to be up front. We have now resolved that issue. That's no longer a problem.
That's great. I'm all for working together. Let's get this thing done the right way.
Right.
And
We have to maintain order. That's the bottom line.
Since I'm up here and I'm hogging the mic still, I wanted to read something that I wrote. Thank you to the city manager, Paul Carlisle, Parks Department, Margarita Hernandez, Randy Moyer, and the commander of the VFW post in Sebastian, John Haskins. Your assistance on the D-Day Memorial Remembrance and Memorial Day Remembrance service is invaluable. Thank you.
Yay.
Jerry.
Thank you. We'll be good. That's gonna be our next topic here.
So
Let's finish up with this.
I give this, and you can give it to the city manager. Thank you.
Right there.
Thank you. One of the things too, Mr. Haskins, that I've left out the D in the Veterans D-Day program discussion, but that was there for the next.
We're gonna get into that right now.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday, we'll be holding D-Day ceremony. I was out of town for Memorial Day. Saturday, they decided to cancel Memorial Day, which upset me very, very greatly. But together with Jerry and the city and the American Legion, along with D-Day, we're going to hold a belated Memorial Day program. I'm going to combine the two of them. I will be emceeing it, and we're going to do our best to turn around and remember. I apologize to anyone in the city, any of our veterans, that Memorial Day wasn't observed on a day was on Monday. Memorial Day is one of the, I would say the most important ceremony that we could ever hold. It's the day we honor all of our veterans that have fallen. And in the future, I will do my best, as long as I'm involved or anyone that I hand this office down to, we will make sure that if for some reason weather-wise, to me the only thing that would stop Memorial Day is a hurricane or a state of emergency. It can be moved inside, but it's never canceled. That's the day we honor our dead. St. Peter's Academy, I think it was 2 years ago, the little kids from St. Peter's Academy, we was down there, we was in the rain, and somebody said, well, do you want to go get under? They looked at us, no, sir. Our veterans never went in when it rained. They sat right there and they sang right through the rain. We was all wet. I think you remember that, Margarita. You remember. I think you remember that. You know, it was sad, and I make an apology to all the people that this happened. But we will do our best, the American Legion and the VFW. We will do, and Jerry and the city has been very helpful with us. We are going to honor Memorial Day along with D-Day. And on the flyers that are out there, I was advised by Jerry, there's a rain day over to the American Legion, but I believe the American Legion has another function going that they're not going to be able to go there. So if rain date would be the VFW, post 10-2-10, in case of rain, instead of the American Legion, which is right next door, so it's no big thing.
Okay. One of the things, the handout that we have here, I personally distributed these to these places.
And I thank you very much.
So, I mean, they have it. I've got it as many places in town as possible I could.
And there again is, to one of Andrea's points, the city working with us. Since I've been involved this last go around as commander, we have tried very, very hard to work along with the city. The city has been excellent to all of our people. The Clambake $50,000 to our sewer systems for the American Legion and the VFW. The city has been tremendous, give us tremendous support. Wednesday at my post meeting, we are going to give the city another $1,000. We got a couple right here coming over to our post. And also we're going to give the Sheriff's Department $1,000 for their puppies. So anything that our VFW can do to help the city and contribute to the city, we will always do our best turnaround. And because I agree with Andrea, the amount that this city has done for all of our veterans and all of our people out there has been tremendous. And you are not recognized enough. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all the support that you give us.
Thank you, sir.
So that'll be at 11 o'clock, Wednesday the 6th.
Yes.
And
I'll update as many as I can. If not, going back to the VFW, I will.
And there will be hot dogs and beans and stuff over to the VFW after the ceremony.
Okay.
Commander, if I may, I want to provide some accurate information in regards to a lot of misinformation given about the Memorial Day ceremony that was canceled. The decision was made at Sunday at noon with the weather reports of 70% chances of thunderstorms, and the storm coming through was at the start of the ceremony. So the misinformation that's out there about that it was canceled days before is incorrect. in working with the city, we monitored pretty much everything up until the event, and yes, in hindsight, I agree that maybe, you know, it should have been moved to a facility that was inside, and I agree with you that maybe it should never have been canceled. It should have been held in another venue. The thing that happens after that, you know, obviously is the misinformation by both organizations about the event. And obviously, a lot of us can play Monday morning quarterback of would have, could have, should have, because, you know, some people, to include myself, were not here that day. Also, to put together a belated Memorial Day remembrance, because I was appointed to put together the ceremony by the commander, by Russ. And for some people to put together something else without notifying me or keeping me in the loop, I feel is a slap in the face. I feel that a lot of hard work went into a lot of this, not only by the members of the American Legion, but also members of the city. And to do this on the QT, I think, is not right. I get the objective and the intent of doing it and honoring those Memorial Day, and I totally support that. But I want to make it clear and go on the record that canceling it was not done, or the decision was not made until Sunday, not Saturday, not any of the other information. And information went out to a number of people and multiple emails and multiple communication. But I will look at that in the future of putting together a plan B and an alternate place, you know, for inclement weather. So I totally agree with you, sir, on that. But I want to clarify all this other stuff because, yes, the city has done great work, and I appreciate their support. I appreciate the support of the people on that committee that helped me piecing it all together. It was a great program, and I think the Veterans Day ceremony program is just as good. But, you know, I think, and going back to what Andrea was saying earlier about the communication between the two and working together still needs to happen, because, and more so, to make it better, and trying to come out of this to make someone else look better and say, hey, this is we did this, I think is the wrong way to go with it. But if this is what we're going to do and combine it, by all means. But I just want to clarify the information, the correct information that's out there, and clear up the misinformation that's going on, because like you said, we can't make everyone happy, and I understand that.
Well, I was in North Carolina. I was on my way home from North Carolina, and I was informed by our post that they were notified Saturday that it was canceled. Where it came from, I do not know, but that our people was informed that it was canceled Saturday, which is neither here nor there. It's done. It's over with. But in the future, now, see, each year, now we work together. Each year, look, last year it was the VFW's turn to run everything, put everything together. That's getting your speakers, blah 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 blah. But working together, we all work together. We all are still part of every function, and we do need to work together through the whole process. And I called a few times to try to get some information. Not one person called me and gave me any information on Memorial Day. If somebody would have called me Saturday or Sunday morning and said that they are going to just cancel it, I would advise them, no, never cancel it. Move inside. Go into the VFW, go into the American Legion, but do not cancel Memorial Day. But no one contacted me, so therefore that's where we need to get this. Last year, every meeting I held, Margaret, Russ, I invited you to every meeting for every one of them, for everything through that whole process. This year, I was not contacted one time. I tried 5 times to get hold of someone from America, but not one person called me back. If one person would have called me back, I would have said, okay, never cancel Memorial Day, move it inside. None of this would have happened. So therefore, yes, you're correct, but we do need that information. You know, we do need better communication between us. And for that, I'll end that.
Can I just make one suggestion? Is that we make the extra effort to make sure that at each meeting, regardless of who's in charge, if it's the Legion's year or the VFW's year, that the other post is represented at every meeting, just to be
I thought that's what we had in line.
part of the, that's just a suggestion. The other suggestion, I think we should make it common. We learned a lesson this time. Every one of our ceremonies, and we all learned this lesson, every ceremony should have a rain. In the event of rain, the ceremony will be held.
And that's what John just suggested, he just spoke of,
No,
yeah.
that was my
We need, that should be on all of our programs, if there's something outside that we do have
Can I make that
a
motion?
tentative.
I'd like to make that a motion, that, so that we have committed to this, and that the city knows we're committed to this too. I'd like to make a motion that for all of our events, we have a rain location posted, or location posted for cancellation, or no location, or cancellation. For example, the Four Chaplains ceremony. It's an important ceremony, but it's not a Veterans Day or a Memorial Day. Perhaps that one could be, in the event of rain, this will be canceled. Perhaps. We're not in charge of that one, that's Larry Wapnick's.
Ms. Coy, also, when we have something of this magnitude and importance, in that motion, is it possible to make a deadline, like the decision to be made? Because I think part of what was run up against this time, it was less than 24 hours to get everybody moving and try. It just seemed not reasonable or not possible, even though if we would have made that.
I think the assumption should be made that the event is going to go on, and that the rain is a last-minute decision. The assumption, that's to me how I would plan this.
But you still.
Is that you plan to have it, because you never know. This last Veterans Day, it poured 5 minutes before the ceremony. All the kids and their parents went to the car, it stopped raining, and everybody came back, and we had the ceremony.
Right. But you do need a location for, in case of that rain day, and that should be considered in in setting up your function.
Yeah, but I see what he's saying about, I think I would have made the same decision if it was, as you've had rain, and it says 70% and thunderstorms.
Friday or Saturday, early morning Saturday, that decision should have been made to give us enough time to, and I talked to somebody at the school said if they would have contacted them early Saturday morning, they would have provided a space for us at the auditorium, just like Vero Beach did. But you can't do it at the last minute.
You're absolutely right, sir.
Yeah.
But the city needs to know, because there are people that they have to pay.
Right. That's why you need to have a cutoff date on it. But like with this Memorial Day, okay, now it's so hard because you want to plan with, everybody knows our weather here. It could be raining on that side of this stage and not on this side of this stage.
Sure.
But you need to try to at the end of your program, you need to try to have a date where it's a place of meeting where, you know, if you think you might have to turn around and cancel it.
No, I absolutely think it makes sense to have that in the motion, that, you know, you have for every event, for every veterans event, that we have a rain date. I don't know how you do that about the parade, but that's a decision that folks can make.
The city's going to make that decision,
Right.
whether it's a go or a no-go.
Right.
But the military will all be there, getting wet.
Okay.
Except for the Air Force, they'll have their umbrellas.
We have that in the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to pass. All in favor?
Aye.
And a question?
And we'll try to get the city's ample notification. I understand what you're saying, but it's not always possible to. In this case, it probably was a safe thing to assume it was going to be really bad.
All right.
Sure, I mean,
motion is
that's-
passed. Motion is passed. Do we have anything else? Barney, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I do, finally.
I knew I could count on you.
I wanted to just recap the school Veterans in the Classroom program so that the city of Sebastian will be aware of what we do and what has occurred. We had a very good Veterans Day presentation with all the schools throughout the county. We worked directly with Mr. Randall and the principals in getting this program going. In the spring for Memorial Day, excuse me, we did go ahead and send out notices to the school board as well as each individual school. I personally visited all the schools in the North County, hoping that we would get a reception for the Veterans Day, Memorial Day program. Unfortunately, we did not. We did do the Masters Academy down in Gary, and several others were down there. It was a very good program. Our other team did some schools down in the South area county on it. So the program is not dead, but we're hoping that when we start in the fall for the Veterans Day program of Veterans in the Classroom, and you realize we have Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and really the most important program is our Americanism program in the classes. And we've been doing it, like down at the Masters Academy, we did the Americanism program, and we did it along with some Memorial Day information, and we did it to the fifth and sixth graders. And it was a large group, and it came out very well on it. So just to let the city know, our program is working throughout the county, but it is basically initiated up here for our schools in the North County. That's it.
All right, thank you, Barney. John, do you have anything for us?
No,
Russ?
sir.
Nope. Neil?
No.
Don't you think I said enough?
Andrea, you are the quietest person I ever seen.
Oh, I have one other thing, Commander. I'm sorry, Commander, I have one other thing. I did want to announce, in reference to the veterans in the program, Pusso and myself were invited down to the Exchange Club of Vero Beach, and we were presented with a plaque of recognition for that program. So it is recognized by other organizations in Indian River County.
Good. Okay, thank you. Well, if that is all anybody else?
I have one thing I'd request to do for our next meeting in August, maybe have like just a review of the parade, like, you know, what went well, what maybe didn't go well, and so we can, and just be able to improve on it for next year, because next year it's all the city, and.
Well, for sure, and in August we'll be able to find out if our conniving and whatever you want to call it worked. Let's see. And yes, a good review of all of it would be great.
And if there's anything else you would like me to put on the agenda, I mean, this one was pretty easy because we have some key events coming up. But in August, I mean, Veterans Day is going to be right around the corner. But if anyone that's to add to the agenda, or please just call, write, or whatever you want.
Okay, maybe we can do more about the homeless, a discussion about the homeless veterans and the homeless situation in general. I think that would be valuable, not just for us, but for the public too, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what's happening out there in the woods and what's going on. So, well, you and I are going to talk anyway, Gary, but can you plan on being here in August, so we'll get a good discussion going on what you're doing and what other places are doing for homeless vets, and maybe what we can do better.
Right, and if there's any write-up you want me to include with the packet or put out, that would be fine. And I'd like to say also, this program going on Wednesday is on Channel 25. The flag etiquette's on Channel 25. We have it posted outside. I mean, done pretty much what we can to get as great of a turnout as we possibly.
Well, since you've been sitting in that chair there, Randy, I tell you what, you have been great. You went overboard in trying to help with everything that we're doing. Your calls, I tell you what, you're very, between you and Margarita,
next to me,
I tell you, you're both great, and I tell you what, we really appreciate everything you have done and will be doing. Both of you doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing you Wednesday at the Post.
It is my honor to work with you.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? Anything in the background? Well, we'll declare this meeting closed. Turn your mics off, Felix.